Good morning and welcome to your students to online English video class. Today we are going to begin Unit 6 Brown Wolf. So without waste of time, let us begin the class of English literature. So student, as the title says brown wolf, so it is somewhere related with the wolf, that is with the dog which is look like wolf. We will see the description of dog in the stanza. But before going there, I will just want to tell you about the writer who is Jack London. Jack London was an American author and journalist known for his adventure stories. Okay, he explored several religions and their cultures in his stories and wrote about life and death. His adventurous stories are based on his own experiences at sea, in Alaska, and in the fields and factories of California. So children, that was all about your writer Jack London. Now let us begin the class. Okay, so here first paragraph says that they called him Wolf. Who called him? We'll explain later. In build and coat, he was a huge timber wolf. What is huge timber? Huge timber means that is a variety of wolf which has a grey coat and is mostly found in the northern regions of North America. So in this paragraph there is a description of the dog whose name was Brown Wolf. Okay, so but in his color he advertised himself as a dog. No wolf were ever colored like him. He was brown, deep brown, red brown, a mixture of browns, and his eyes were twin topaz, golden and brown. Topaz means clearly yellow, semi-precious stone. So in this paragraph there is a description of the dog whose name was Brown Wolf. Now second says Walt, Irwin and Madge. Okay, they both are couple. Now here we have introduced the second character of the story. The first character we have seen, that is the dog. Another one is Walt, Irwin and Madge. They both are couple. Loved the dog very much. Perhaps this was because it has been such a task to win his love. Such a task to win his love means it was very difficult task to love the dog. Actually the dog does not belong to them. That is why that was the big task to love him. Okay, when he had arrived at the mountain cottage from nowhere, he had proved to be very unsociable. Okay, student, unsociable means not liking to meet people or interact with them. Okay, when he came from the mountain cottage, he was very unsociable. He does not like the people, the couple Walt, Irwin and Madge. Nevertheless, he had stayed there and he was tried and famished, but when he had recovered he simply disappeared. Okay, famished means you can see that famished means very hungry. Okay, so he's saying that nevertheless he had stayed there, but as soon as he just feel tired and hungry, and then after he be there, and then after he just disappeared. When he just recovered himself, he disappeared from that place. Okay, so now the third paragraph says that, and this would have been the end of him if Walt had not spotted him along the railway line and brought him back to the cottage. Means Walt always brought him back to the cottage, and he just always be in search of the dog, because the dog is always in habit of moving here to there. Okay, Walt then got a metal plate made on which was written, "Return to Walt Irwin, Glen Ellen, Somola Country, California," and attached it to the collar strapped to the dog's neck. So every time he disappeared, he was caught and returned. Actually, when the dog was in habit of flying here and there, Walt Irwin had a metal plate on which there was an address written, so that whoever the person will get the dog, they will return home, or they will return back to the dog on the same address which was written on the metal plate. The remarkable thing about his disappearing was that every time he fled, he went to north. Okay, the dog actually came from the north side, so that is why he always used to fled, used to go on the same side. He was homing instinct. Was What Walt about it? What is homing instinct, children? Actually, it is a natural feeling to take animals or birds to their homes or original living place from there they came. Okay. Then number 5. After a futile means unsuccessful. A futile years of many flight, he decided to remain at the cottage. But even after that, a long time went by before Walt and Midge succeeded him in getting close to him. It was a great victory for they alone were allowed to touch him. Okay, so now they are just allowed to touch him. The dog just allowed to touch him. If anyone tried, they were greeted with an angry growl that would turn into a frightening snarl, and snarling was all the sound he made. No one had ever heard that, ever heard him bark, and even once. Okay, so he was like that. Nobody means the dog does not want to touch anybody. He just feeling something, and then he always be in himself. Okay. Then, as Walt and Midge walk along the country road one morning with Wolf trailing behind, he heard a crunching of heavy feet. A minute after later, a man came into the view around to turn off the trail. Trail means a path through the country side. Okay, so once they were just moving towards moving towards the countryside for the morning walk, and they have the dog with them for the training. They found that a man came from that side. Okay, warm day. Walt greeted him. Then Walt greeted him. The man paused and nodded. He shook his head. I guess I ain't used too much to the warm, he said, half apologetically. I am more accustomed to zero weather. So you do not to find of that in this country. Walt laughed. Should say not, the man answered. I ain't there a lock for either. I am trying to find my sister. Maybe you know. She lives. Her name's Johnson, Mrs. William Johnson. So in this way, these paragraphs say that they just started talking to the man, and then after the man told his purpose why he came there. So he just wanted to meet his sister, whose name was Mr. William Johnson. You're not her Condicker brother. Condicker brother means, children, you can see that Condicker brother. Condicker is a region in northwestern Canada where gold was discovered. Okay, so you can see that what is here written. So Major cried her eyes with an interest about whom we have heard so much. Okay, 12 paragraph. Okay, then after yes, that's me, he answered. My name is Miller, Skiff Miller. I just thought I'd surprised her. So he was talking that I'm just searching for my sister's house. If you know, you can tell me. You are not on the right track. Then Madge pointed to the downhill. Take the little trail turning off to the right. It is the shortcut to her house. You can't miss it. So here you can see that Midge given the right path to the man, and then she told that if you will be going from that side, you will be getting the right path. Yes, thank you, ma'am. He said it was just it was at his juncture. Juncture means you can see that juncture is given here at this particular point in time. Okay. Trotted means walk heavily. Walk with a quick step. Then after made up to means to be pleasant and friendly. Okay, so then after Skiff Miller saw the dog, and look, a great wonder came into his face. As soon as Skiff Miller saw the dog, there was a great wonder come to his face. Well, he said slowly. Okay, he told the dog, well. At the sound of his voice, Olsier flattened down and his mouth opened in a laugh. He trotted up to the stranger. At first, he smelled his hand and licked them in his tongue. Okay, so he just tried to recognize the man. Okay, in this paragraph, talking about Medj was amazed. We never saw Ulf makeup. Makeup means very friendly. So he's talking that we never saw that the dog becomes very friendly to any stranger before this event. Okay, is that dog you call him Wolf? The man asked. He lifted one of the wolf's forelegs and exclaimed, the foot pads pressing them kind of soft. He remarked he ain't been on a trial for a long time. He returned to Major and Voldemort asked, how long you have been? Okay, so he was asking that how long you have been with this dog. But then the dog is quivering and rubbing against the newcomer's leg opened his mouth and barked. The dog continuously rubbing the man legs and with his body, and then he was screaming around him. Walt and Madge stared at each other. The miracle had happened. Wolf had barked. Actually, in the last paragraph, we have read that he never scroll and bark, but as soon as he saw the man, he just heard his voice. He reacted more and more. Okay, it's the first time he ever barked. Mark said, "First time I have heard him too." Miller also added. Madge smiled at him. The man was evidently humorous. Of course, she said, since you have only seen him for 5 minutes. Skip Miller looked at her sharply. I thought you understood, he said slowly. I thought you understood that he's my dog. His name ain't Wolf. His name ain't Wolf. It's Brown. So Skip Miller is saying that no, it is my dog because he just recognized me and doing reaction which you have never seen till 5 years. But I know that he's my dog. Okay, and his name is not Wolf. Actually, its name is Brown. How do you know he's your dog? Walt demanded. Because he is, was the reply. Skip Miller turned to the dog. Brown. He commanded him Brown. He told him Brown. His voice rang out sharply, and the sound of dog's ear flattened down. Gee! The dog made a swinging turn to the right. Now, mush on. He stopped there, and the dog seizes his wings abruptly and stared straight ahead, halting obediently at the command. Okay, so he was just doing reaction against the command of Skip Miller. Skip Miller smiled proudly. Okay, he has proud that he recognized me. He was my lead dog. Okay, then after paragraph number 34, here you can see that, but you are not going to take him away with you, Madge asked tremendously. No, he won't. No, he won't. Walt announced in a determined voice. Perhaps you want to sell him. We can buy him. So here the couple was asking that if you want to sell him, we can buy, because they also love the dog very much. So they are ready to buy if the man newcomer was ready to sell the dog. Okay, Skip Miller looked puzzled. Okay, but what about the dog? Madge cried. Have you not considered the dog? Skip Miller looked puzzled. Maybe the dog has some choice in the manner. Madge went on. Maybe he has his likes and desires. It never entered your mind that possibly would come to be stay here and not to go back. Okay, so Madge was saying that maybe dog wants to live with us. So there may be his desires and his likes. Let the decision will be on the dog. This was a new way of looking at him. Miller was clearly debating about in his mind. Madge realized this. He was unsure and used the opportunity to persuade him the dog had a choice. If you really love him, what would make him happy would make happy too, she urged. Okay, so now they are just deciding that the decision will be on the dog. Miller thought for a while and said slowly, your remarks, ma'am, have some weight in them. Okay, you can check the spellings. All spellings are given here. Okay, well, let him choose. Whatever he says goes. You people stay right here. I will say goodbye and walk off. If he wants to stay, then He can stay. If he wants to come with me, let him let him come. I want to call him to come, and don't you call him to come back. So there was the condition that was kept to the dog there. Fine, well, play fair, Mitch said. Well, then I might as well be getting along, Skiff Miller said in the ordinary tone of the departing. Okay, at this chance, in this voice, Wolf lifted his head quickly and still moved quickly. Go to his feet when the man and woman shook hand. He sprang on his hind leg, resting to the fore. Let me check in the book. Paragraph number 45. That is okay. Okay, four paws. Okay, it is four paws on his hip, and the same time licking Steve Miller's hand when the latter shook hand with the vault. Wolf repeating his act, resting his wave on the vault and licking both the men. Okay, so here dog's reaction says that the dog wanted to leave with both of the person. Okay, Skiff Miller as well as the couples, Walt and Mitch, because they both also loved the dog very much. Okay. What happened again? It ain't going to be easy. I can't tell that our Nogdigger's last word. He turned and went slowly up to the trial. For some time Ulf watched him go. Then a quick low whine. He sprang after him, overtook and caught his hand between his teeth and stove gately. Stove means tied. Okay, tied Gately to make him pause. Failing in this, Wolf raced back to where Walt Irwin sat, catching his coat sleeves in his teeth and trying to vainly drag him after retreating man. Then he turned to his attention to Madge. He snuggled his head into her lap, nodding her arm with his nose and old tick to his when begging towards fair. So in this way, he just tried to say Madge and Walt to just stop Skiff Miller, not to let him go, as his choice is to leave both of the person. So he was just reacting like this. He is snoring his nose and just licking the legs or the hand of the both the men, and then after he just rounding towards Madge as well. This too he soon abandoned when they did not move. Ulf, okay, after doing these things, they did not move. Ulfo waited for a long minute, silently and quietly. Actually, he was just, the dog was waited to the reaction of the couple, but they were stood silently. Then he was on his feet, he had made his mind. Okay, now here, when they did not do any reaction, then after he made his mind settle, and then his eyes were fixed up to the trial, to the same road, okay, where Skiff Miller was going. He broke into a trot. Means began began to trot. Okay, which turned into the run. Not once did he turn his head. He cut sharply across the core of the trial was gone. Okay, so in the last, he goes to the man Skiff Miller, and he never turned towards back about to see the couple, Walter and so children. So that was all about the story. I hope that you have got the story well, and in the next video we will be talking about question answers will be discussed. So children, till that time, thank you so much and have a nice day.